What up? It's your boy T-Bro here with a reaction. So, came across this video right here. It was from the same people I did the top 10 worst fatalities from Mortal Kombat. This is the top 10 worst Street Fighter characters of all time. Now, it's going to be probably from the games I didn't pay like EX and all that, but we'll see. Let's check this out.
Street Fighter is an iconic fighting franchise, dominating in the glory days of the arcade and has been responsible for more broken paths and friendships than we care to count. But a fighting game is only as good as the company you keep, and while the Street Fighter roster contains some of the best knuckle chuckleheads like Ryu, Blanka and Dudley, come on, you know he's brilliant, it's also got some absolute stinkers. It's actually no surprise that there's a few plum duffs in the franchise, seeing it's been going since the late 80s, but we've saved you the hassle of having to play them all and collected all of the tosh into one giant garbage bag of a list. With this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com here with a list of 10 worst Street Fighter characters of all time. Also, before we start, Dan is not on the list. I don't care what you think about his hot pink getup or his cold shower-sized Hadouken. He is comedy gold, and you've got to respect his big-headed resilience. With that said, let's get it down, yeah. Number 10, Darren Myster.
Wait a minute. I did not know that Dan was supposed to be like, slightly overweight. Not like fat, but like got a little weight to him though. Like, let me go back real quick. That picture, do I look like me got a little weight to him? Did that we look like, or was it because of the shirt? Anyway.
Hadouken, he is comedy gold, and you've got to respect his pig-headed resilience. With that said, let's get it down, yeah. Number 10. Darren Myster. A character so poorly thought out that Capcom didn't even bother to translate his name to mean something coherent in English. Darren Myster is an Indian wrestling champion and essentially a poor man's Zangief. It doesn't help Darren's case that the only appearances he ever made were in the dark EX stages of Street Fighter in the late 90s, which, as you remember, is when the series made a clunky foray into 3D and then slinked away from it for many years. As such, we'll only ever remember Darren as little more than a cuboid lump with less personality than one of those robot arms that makes cars. Number 9.
Gil, damn.
Until Street Fighter 3 came along, the series had pretty phenomenal form when it came to villains. Its unholy quartet of Balrog, Vega, Bison and Sagat were already legendary. So why Capcom evidently decided to hand over the creative reins for designing Gil to the local preschool is beyond us. What results is a badly clashing monstrosity. Put simply, Gil looks like an utter tool, and his constant need to show his bulging banana hammock and taut buttocks while killing us really yanks my sack. Oh, and he's cheap, like super goddamn cheap, making the fight against him an absolute chore, and worse still means that you'll have to look at his chicken fat coloured hair and two-tone twat face many, many times. Number 8. T-Hawk. Of the newcomers to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, T-Hawk really stood out as a brown note in an otherwise crisp fighting symphony. His stupid right-angle stance made him look like a terrible DJ who's only intent on ruining vinyl, and his dress sense screamed, "Do you get that he's a Native American?" But the worst of all his features is that he's just so bland to fight as. He doesn't hit as hard as Zangief despite his size, nor is he quick enough to react to most characters. His only redeeming quality is that his bird dives at least looked pretty cool, but even they were only about as effective as trying to put out a forest fire with their own piss. Number 7. Skullomania. When Capcom announced that they were going to have a character based on Kamen Rider, people were hyped, as a superhero-inspired brawler would fit in well with the crazier side of Street Fighter. What we got, however, was Skullomania, a guy in a skeleton suit. But the problem is that his backstory was utter dirge, with him being a loser salesman whose boss dresses him up like this Misfits merch stand, and then he just decides to go and fight crime. And his moveset just seemed to be all the leftover animation that the devs couldn't fit into the game. I would make a joke about having a bone to pick with them, but remembering this has just made me very sad. Number 6. Oro. From the Street Fighter 3 Dark Ages of character design comes Oro, the primeval hermit who lives in a cave. While Oro has a fairly unorthodox move that people warm to, he's just not very pleasing to look at with his melted candle flesh, elongated neck, and tatty garbs that look like they could slip aside at the wrong place at any time with his saggy ancient genitalia. Mind you, the character looks so senile he probably wouldn't notice if this happens. To be honest, this one's just on the list because no one wants old man balls in their fighting game. Number 5.
Remy.
No one likes a self-pitying sulker.
Yeah.
And this guy oozes
like
that in both his appearance and playing style.
He
looks like the kind of mope who just responds to everything you say by reminding you that everything dies in the end anyway. Flicking his green-dyed hair out of his face. As backstories go, Remy's father left him when he was young, which is apparently why he hates everyone he meets. Well, I got news for you, mate. So did mine, and I'm just seething with rage and cry after sex, so get your shit together. Considering the death, battles, and trauma that just about every other Street Fighter character went through, Remy's backstory is hardly that bad, and it's not really a good excuse for being such an insufferable buzzkill. And his Guile/Sagat fusion moves suck too, with his wiry frame looking like it would snap like a paper cup on contact. Number 4.
Necro!
Are you seeing a little bit of a pattern for this list yet? It was like Street Fighter 3 contains all of the half-baked, semi-coherent ideas straight out of the collective subconscious of Capcom. One of the byproducts of this is Necro, a Russian mutant who looks like he'd be better off as a background character in Final Fantasy VII than as a Street Fighter combatant. With his gangly spaghetti arms and stretchy moves, he's like a budget version of Dalsim, but he's got an infuriatingly squeaky voice and a propensity of emitting a high-pitched hollow whenever he wins. No thank you, please. Number 3. Hugo.
Damn.
You may recognise this man with the melted cheese face as one of the goons from the classic beat-em-up Final Fight. Granted, he wasn't as elaborately designed back then, but maybe that's for the best considering his modern-day appearance makes him look like a middle-aged fishwife on steroids. His appearance is supposedly inspired by legendary wrestler Andre the Giant, but I'm pretty sure that the late WWE legend wouldn't be caught dead wearing a pink leopard print leotard. Hugo was born to be a disposable grunt in a fighting game and should never have received the upgrade to being a full Street Fighter character. His bland movesets and forgettable reasons for fighting just add to his mediocrity. Plus the fact that he looks like he's almost de-evolving in front of our eyes and has trouble breathing. Number 2. Doctrine Dark. There are times when you wish that fighting games would self-impose some boundaries when it came to ripping off rival games. In that spirit, Mortal Kombat should never have featured Ken look-alike Cobra, while Street Fighter should have left Doctrine Dark on the cutting room floor. This guy's breathing apparatus and colour scheme is a straight riff of Sub-Zero. The blades on his arms are clearly pinching off Baraka, and he even has a move where he fires a wire and drags his opponent towards him like Scorpion. This would be slightly better if he was a vaguely interesting character, but his one outstanding feature, that Notice Me Senpai stare, is the only thing he's got going for him. Capcom would have done well to drop this copy-paste cock in the bin. And number 1, Sawada.
Oh, shit.
You know, Sawada. Still nothing? You know, the most forgettable and irrelevant guy in the worst Street Fighter game of all time. Yeah, that's the one. This guy is hands down the worst Street Fighter character of all time because he's simply the least necessary addition to the franchise. Jean-Claude Van Damme's right-hand man in the film, he bravely, courageously had 3 lines of dialogue and led all of the other extras in the assault against M. Bison. But apparently that was enough to justify his presence in Street Fighter the movie, The Game, in which he had a lackluster set of borrowed moves and an outfit which ticks all the boxes of bland character design. But there was one move though which actually got fans slightly a little bit possibly excited, as it looked like a katana strike. But this later turned out to be a motion blur error, so he wasn't even programmed properly. What a Sawaka, or as Ben would put it, hashtag Sawaka for wackers. And that's our list. Do you have any bum brawlers that you'd like us to beat down? Well, drop us a
That was a good one though. Yeah, they was right for that as Sawada. Like they would pretty much replace Fei Long for that motherfucker. And then they put him in the game. That sucked. The movie was alright too, but the movie kind of was alright, what's up, but that sucked more. They replaced this guy for Fei Long. They replaced Fei Long for that guy. So the other ones, I figured most of them be from the Street Fighter EX days and some from 3. The damn T-Hawk though, I guess because this movie was kind of bland, I guess, maybe. Well, other than that, there's a good list of worst fighters though. Well, other than that, pretty good. So, do you got any other ones related to Street Fighter? Total greatest technical of all time. I'll take a little more. I'll take a look at it more later on. Well, other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page. It's your boy T-Bird, signing off. One love.